So there's a channel called HisYTStory, and basically what they do is they post these educational videos, and we have to check it out because it's been blowing up every single time. Like for example, 239k views, 1 million views, and they just keep growing. This one has 5 million. So let's see what's all the hype's about, let's go.
I woke up at 4 a.m. to screaming from my son's room, but when I walked inside, I instantly started coughing. My 15-year-old Jacob was smoking cigarettes and loudly gaming with his buddies.
Bro, are we serious?
I didn't even know he smoked, so I crossed the room with my breath held and unplugged his PlayStation. "You're going to bed. We'll talk about the smoking tomorrow." But he turned to me with these manic eyes and screamed, "Give me back my PlayStation." He put his cigarette out on my arm, and I am...
Oh, nah, bro. See. So the solution to this problem is, like, you gotta get a belt. Oh, matter of fact, I don't have the belt right now, but you see this PlayStation 5 controller? Okay, don't do that. I don't condone violence, bro. No violence, bro. No violence. But that's still messed up, though. Like, why would you do that?
Immediately backed up as it burned. "Okay, we're seriously having a talk." I walked out of his room and locked him in for the night while he screamed, "You'll regret this." Next morning, I was waiting downstairs to talk, but Jacob stormed down with a stack of papers and dropped them on the table. "I'm suing you. I want emancipation and $5,000 in legal damages." My stomach twisted as I picked up the papers, and when I looked up, he was lighting a cigarette. "That's right. I don't want you to be my dad anymore." He blew the smoke in my face and walked out. That evening, Jacob yelled at me from his room, "Dad, I need $200 to hire a lawyer for the court." I laughed because I still didn't think he was serious. But that night I woke up to something rustling in my room. My eyes shot open and I saw Jacob going through my wallet. My heart shattered seeing my own son stealing from me, but I just pretended to be asleep, then slid my phone over and pressed record. He tiptoed out with all $300 from my wallet, but I had the evidence. 2 weeks later, I stood in court as Jacob Fake cried on the stand that I'm abusive and he's scared of me. I don't want him to be my dad, and I want $5,000 for emotional damages. He pointed at me like I was an animal. My hands shook and I pulled out the video of him stealing my money, but he began screaming before the judge could even look at it. "See? He records me without my consent. That's the abuse I'm talking about."
Bro.
My stomach sank as the judge looked at Jacob. "You believe you can care for yourself?" Jacob smirked. "Better than that faker ever could." I felt my whole body go cold because those words hurt so much, but that's when the judge smiled at me. "In that case, emancipation granted." He banged his gavel and Jacob immediately jumped out of his seat, cheering and throwing both middle fingers in my face. But then the judge kept talking. "This means, Jacob, that from today, you pay your own rent, food, and legally follow every rule your father gives."
Oh! And also, why wouldn't the judge say anything when you put up the middle finger, bro? Like, is the judge good, bro? Cause like, he's like 10.
"Gives you since he's now your landlord. Your first $1,000 rent payment is due in a month." My son's arms dropped mid-celebration. "Wait, I don't have any money." But the judge shrugged. "Fail to pay, and you'll be arrested." This is
GG's. GG's. But honestly, if this video is going 1 to 10, bro, that's gonna be a 10 out of 10. That's actually entertaining, like entertaining, bro. But if I ever had something like this, bro.
In the 3rd grade, a girl 3 years older than me grabbed my shirt and shoved me face first into a locker. I felt my baby tooth crack, and Rebecca loudly popped her gum in my ear.
How are you getting impressed, bro? Jerry, how are you getting impressed? Like, are you short? Like, are you that short?
"Meet me behind the hill after school. I'm not letting you get away with shouting at me in the hallway." She pushed me to
Just don't go.
the ground and walked back to her bully friend group. I clutched my cheek shaking because my elementary school was run by 10 girls, all 6th grade bullies. And when you're a 9-year-old boy, that is an Avengers level threat. I thought back to Rebecca breaking my arm earlier this year. Screwed. But when I saw them during break, taking my classmates' glasses and stomping on them, I got an idea. I waited until they walked away and came up to him while he cried on the floor.
Bro.
I whispered the plan in his ear, and his eyes immediately lit up. We followed them for the entire break, talking to every kid they bullied. When the final bell rang, my heart pounded, and Rebecca locked eyes with me and cried.
Alright, just one thing. First, hitting you, woman hits you, just don't hit back. Breaking your arm and bullying you, that's overboard, generally.
Her knuckles. "See you behind the hill." I walked out, my legs shaking, but instead of going up to them, I climbed to the top of the hill. Rebecca's eyes widened as she yelled, "Are you ignoring us? We're breaking both your legs for this." The 10 of them started walking up the hill, their faces twisted and fists clenched, and that's when I made my move. Troops, in positions. Instantly, all 50 boys from my grade came out from behind. behind me, standing atop
what type
the
of
hill,
Avengers?
including the kid with the broken glasses. Our army stared at the 10 girls. Their smiles dropped, but their eyes widened in rage. We're still gonna beat you up. But then I pointed and yelled, "Charge!" All 50 of us began sprinting downhill. The girls' faces went pale in fear as they realized 50 mini bowling balls were rushing at them. "We're sorry," Rebecca yelled and turned to run, but it was too late. We began crashing into them, knocking them to the floor and stampeding them. I stepped on Rebecca's hair and plowed into the others, sending them to the dirt. By the time we were at the bottom, all 10 of them were crying in the mud. Their elbows were bent wrong, their hair was ripped and covered in grass, and not a single one was moving. I planted my foot on Rebecca's back and shouted, "Victory!" In the 3rd grade.
Yo, immediate S tier, bro. That was legendary, bruh.
I was walking home when someone grabbed me from behind and threw a bag over my head. I screamed into the fabric, but moments later, it got ripped off and I was tied to a chair. A big bald man stood over me. "Where's my $40,000? But I had no idea who he was. "You've got the wrong guy. I have 12 cents in my bank account. Let me go." His face twisted. "I remember your face from the casino. You're not leaving without giving me my money." But I remembered I had my mom's medication in my bag. I yelled, "I need to go home. My mom needs her medication. She can't even walk without her cane." But he scoffed. "I don't care about your mom. You've got until tonight to get me my money, or you're dead." I had no way to get that money, so the second he left the room, I yanked at the rope around my wrists to escape. I twisted and pulled until my skin burned, and one hand started slipping free. But then the door swung open, and he stared right at my wrists, his fists clenched. Trying to escape? I expected him to kill me, but instead, he said, "Your mom needs you home? As a matter of fact, I'll go get her. If I have her captive, you won't try to run again." I screamed, begging him not to as he walked out. But moments later, he came back, pulling my mom by the arm. She leaned on her cane, tiny and shaking. He laughed. She didn't even fight because she's so weak. She walked right out to my car. He pulled her closer. "You've got 1 hour, or you're both dead."
Yo, why can't she, like, I know she's weak, you know that, bro, but like, just use all your strength, pick up that cane, knock him out, bro, like... I'm tweaking.
Tears streamed down my face. I couldn't give him anything, and now my mom was going to die because of me. "I'm so sorry, Mom." But then she grabbed her chest and collapsed to the floor. I screamed, "Mom!" The bald man's face went confused. "Please help her, she's sick and weak." He rushed over and bent down to check on her, but then her hand tightened around her cane, and she swung it straight into the back of his head.
Yeah, bro, I predicted that, bro. That's all me.
And she slipped the loose rope off my wrists and pulled me up. I was shaking as she dialed 911. "Mom, I thought you were too weak to fight," she smiled. He bragged that I didn't fight him, but I didn't fight because I needed him to bring me to you. Then I could take him down myself. Then she whispered, "Also, your dad is the one who owes him the $40,000. I gasped because my dad and I have the same face.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a crazy story. That was a really crazy story, dude. Your mom was old and weak. She knocked the ball. Like, that's what I was thinking about too, but I predicted that, gang. I predicted that. Let's go.
The defending skateboarding champ snatched my homemade deck and snapped it clean over his knee. "Just go home, bro, and save us the embarrassment of watching that thing snap again." I grabbed the broken chunk and stood up. "I'm still skating today." I lined the breakup on the curb and taped it tight over a fat line of glue, because that busted deck was the only board I had. Nate crouched down and flicked the tape. 20 minutes before the comp, and you think that holds? One clean run was all I needed to shut him up. Nate went straight to the judge's table. "That board's tape and glue. It's a hazard." The head judge turned it over. "Homemade's legal, but it's one run, and if it comes apart, that's on you." I took my deck back off the table. "It'll hold." Nate grinned and jerked his chin at the packed bowl. "When it snaps, everybody watches." Mid-jam, he raked his wheel across.
Yeah, he just want to kill him. I'm not gonna lie, he just want to kill him. He don't want him to live no more, and that's how we need to throw him in jail.
Across my seam and peeled the tape half off. I pressed the split shut till it grabbed. Then Nate bombed the long rail for an untouchable score. The only trick big enough was that rail. I dropped in and rode the rail out ugly, the torn seam holding just long enough to land it. I held the plywood out to Nate. "You said it's the legs, not the board. Beat me on that." He grabbed it and grinned at the crowd. "Easy." He dropped in, and halfway across the rail, the board split in two, right where he'd raked it. He slammed onto his back, and the bowl went dead quiet. A judge grabbed my wrist and threw it up. "First!" Nate came off the ground and snapped his own board clean over his knee.
Stupid.
I dropped my two halves on his. "You wanted to watch that thing snap again." The defending skateboarding champ snatched my homemade.
Yeah, like, why would you break his skateboard and expect him to skate, bro? Like, he can hit his head and anything can happen. Like, that's messed up.
When I was homeless, I'd sit by the same store on my dirty mattress and tie a string to the door handle to open it for every shopper whose hands were full. I thought it was a harmless way to distract me from the hunger. But one afternoon, a mom came out with a baby on her hip and carrying 4 grocery bags. I opened the door for her like always, and she smiled at me like I was actually a person. I gasped in shock, and she stepped back in fear. "I don't have any cash," I laughed. "I don't want your money. I just want to feel human again." She just walked away, and I thought I'd never see her again. But every morning, she'd bring me a Boston cream Dunkin' donut and drink her coffee with me. But after a few months of
yo, he eating more than me.
this, she came empty-handed and grabbed
I don't remember the last time I ate a Dunkin' Donut, but that guy eating good.
my money cup. "I watch you open the door for everyone that passes. No one ever gives you money for it, but you still do it. Why?" I shrugged. "I told you, I just want to feel like a human." She pointed at the hotel across the road. I managed the Grandview Hotel. My doorman just quit. She held out a card with both hands. "You've been interviewing for this job every morning. You just didn't know it." She took out a piece of paper with the job offer on it. $25 an hour, 5 days a week, plus free housing at the hotel. My first shift, I stood at the Grandview's front door in a uniform with my name stitched on it, and she was holding 2 Boston creams. She handed me one and walked inside, and I pulled the door open wide for the next stranger whose hands were full. When I was homeless,
Yo, bro, W story, man. That has to be Esther, bro.
I was at my high school prom when I let out a fart so loud I knew I had to go.
Dude, like, honestly, that's the most embarrassing moments that could ever happen to you.
So I rushed into the nearest porta potty, but the second I latched the door, it started violently rocking back and forth, and my stomach dropped. I heard a laugh. "I'm a flip it. Say I won't."
I'ma flip it. Say I won't. Yo, I'ma flip it.
Realized it was Derek, who'd bullied me since freshman year.
Yeah, freak you, Derek.
Don't. I'm in my suit. But he heaved it over anyway, and I slammed into the door as the tank emptied all over me. I crawled out dripping in filth while he cackled with his friends.
That must be the evil, like, that's evil, bro. Like, no, like, I never seen something so evil in my life.
Ow! He smelled like caca, farts, and I walked away without a word like I always did, and I had no clue that tonight that would finally change. I was heading for the exit, hands on my face crying, when my teacher grabbed my shoulder. "I've watched him bully you for 4 years. I should have stepped in long ago, but I won't let you take it."
Is that a grown man being, like, bro, I can never get bullied by another grown man in high school.
Tonight, my throat tightened because no one's ever stood up for me. Then Derek's voice cut across the lot. "If you're not a pussycat to come back, I'll flip it again, loser." The whole crowd laughed, and for
bro, just like go ahead and just like you ever know them GTA things, bro? Like people in GTA, just like in GTA.
For the first time, the humiliation turned into something I've never felt before. I looked the teacher dead in the eyes. "Tell me what to do," but my suit's trashed. His nose burned at my smelly suit, and he slipped off his own suit jacket and threw mine in the garbage, his suit hanging loose on my frame. Then he walked me through loosening the porta potty door so it would blow open when it tipped, and he handed me 2 suction cups. I didn't understand what they were for, but he just grinned. "Trust me," he pointed at a porta potty. "Stand near that one. It's been used all day." I walked back into the packed prom, and Derek shoved through the crowd with a grin. "You came back. This'll be even better than last time." My heart pounded because I'd never stood up to anyone in my life, but I forced myself toward the porta potty. "You want round 2? Bet! Everyone watch!" The whole prom turned as he shoved me inside and heaved it over. He was laughing like he won, until the loosened door burst open and a whole day's worth of filth poured out, burying him as the
That's even more evil.
crowd screamed. He staggered up gagging, coated head to toe, spinning around for me. Then I stepped out without a single stain, because the second he flipped it, I'd stuck the teacher's suction cups to the wall and hung above the filth as it poured out the door onto him. His friends pointed and laughed. "You smell like caca, farts, and ah." 4 years later, I got the last laugh, and across the room, my teacher gave me a proud nod. I was at
Yeah, W teach.
Every time the birthday kid started opening presents, I locked myself in the bathroom and waited for the cheering to stop. My mom couldn't have
Bro, why? Like, you know, like this is a whole nother level. This is the jealousy they say in the Bible.
afford gifts, but still sent me to every birthday in 3rd grade because the pizza was the only time
Wait. I need to hear that again, bro. What?
I was walking Every time the birthday kid started opening presents, I locked myself in the bathroom and waited for the cheering to stop. My mom couldn't afford gifts, but still sent me to every birthday in 3rd grade because the pizza was the only time I got dinner.
Oh, but still, you don't want to see him win, bro. Like, why can't you hear the cheering, bro? Like, birthday parties, bro. Like, sometimes people be going to birthday parties for the food. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm people. Like, congratulations, your birthday. You have another year in life. God bless, all that. But I'm here for the food, bro. I'm here for the food, bro. I'm gonna be stuffed with cakes and pieces.
I would eat embarrassed and never wanted anyone to know. But the day before my best friend Kai's birthday, his mom knocked on our door and asked if I wanted to sleep over. I said yes, because a sleepover meant dinner. But as soon I stepped out, Kai peered from around the corner. "Aren't you bringing your present for me?" I felt my legs buckle, but his mom immediately cut in. "I'm sure he'll come back for it, right?" I nodded, my stomach twisting in fear. During dinner, Kai punched my shoulder. "I can't wait to see what you got me, dude." And I laughed nervously while thinking if I should just go home before the party. I couldn't let Kai find out, but then his mom waved me into her bedroom. My face went hot because I thought she'd question me about presents, but instead she spread toys across the bed. "These are the presents I'm giving Kai tomorrow. Pick one and put your name on it so it can be from you." My chest froze. I realized she knew I was poor, and my hands started shaking, but she just took my shoulders and smiled. "Don't be shy, honey. Pick a toy." I nervously reached for the tiny fidget spinner, but then she slid me the giant monster truck instead. We wrapped it on her floor and wrote my name.
But you need that giant
and I nearly cried the whole time. The next day, I set a present down for the first time. Kai ripped the paper off and screamed, "How did you know? You're the best." I laughed, and his mom glanced at me and smiled. When the next present came out, I stayed in the room. I was walking past the bridal suite 3 hours before my wedding when I heard my mom's
Wait. Am I seeing this right? The mom tried to buy my wife?
voice through the door. "Just take the money and tell him you got cold feet." I stopped and pressed my ear against the door. My bride's voice came back firm. "Absolutely not. I love him, and I am not going anywhere." A bang against the wall. "You do not belong in this family. Take the check, or I will ruin this wedding myself." I heard footsteps and ducked into the supply closet. My mom walked out with the check still in her hand. I pulled out my phone and texted my bride. I was outside and I heard everything. 3 seconds later, she texted back, "We are getting married no matter what." I leaned against the wall and took a breath. I didn't know how far my mom was willing to go. My sister grabbed my arm 10 minutes later.
Yo, the mom, like, mom, bro.
Flowers never came. I called the florist and put it on speaker.
I love it though.
"Your mother canceled the order yesterday, sir." I drove to the grocery store in my suit and grabbed every bucket of flowers I could carry, but I was still 3 short for the tables when I got back and saw the makeup artist at the side door holding an envelope. "Someone called yesterday and canceled. I came to return your deposit." I begged her to stay and told her the wedding was still on, but she just shook her head and wouldn't look at me. "I've already booked another job for today. I'm so sorry." I stood in the parking lot watching her drive off, flowers wilting in my back seat, and that's when my bride called. I could hear she'd been crying. She came back, 100,000 this time, and she called my boss, told him I was unstable, and got me fired an hour ago. This wasn't about the wedding anymore. My mom was going after the rest of her life. "Please tell me you recorded it. Every word. Do not delete a single second of it." But I knew my mom. She wasn't done. My mom stood up at the reception with her glass raised. "I have watched many girls come and go from my son's life." I stood up and cut her off. "What she means is she paid many of them to leave." The room went silent as I held up my phone and pressed play on the recording. Her voice filled the room, the $100,000 offer, the admission about the firing, and then the part I
Yo, why her mom like Granny from Granny's house, bro?
had not heard. "Take the money and get rid of the baby." My bride stood up, put a hand on her stomach, and looked right at my mom. "We're having twins." I crossed the room, took my bride's hand, and never looked back at the woman who tried to buy her out of...
That's crazy story.